So you're thinking about buying your first home. It's an amazing dream, for sure. But let's be real, it can also feel, well, completely and totally overwhelming. If you're feeling lost, maybe a little anxious, or like you're already playing catch-up, then you are in exactly the right place. We're going to break down why you feel that way, and more importantly, how to move forward with real confidence. I want you to just take a second and really let that sink in. Seriously, this isn't just some feel-good quote, it is the absolute truth. The way you're feeling right now, it's not a personal failing. Not at all. And today, we're going to get into exactly why that is. All right, so let's start with that feeling. You know the one. That nagging voice in the back of your head that keeps whispering doubts. Does any of this stuff sound familiar? Overwhelmed by just how complicated it all seems? Feeling behind where you think you should be in life? Anxious about making a huge, expensive mistake? Totally confused by all the conflicting advice you hear from everyone? Or just stuck? If you're nodding along to any of these, I want you to know you're in the vast majority. This is how most first-time homebuyers feel. You're not alone in this. But here's the thing about that anxiety. It's so easy to see it as a giant red stop sign, right? A warning that maybe you're not cut out for this. But what if we just flip that on its head? That feeling doesn't mean you're not ready. It means you care. It means you get how big of a deal this is, and honestly, that is the best possible place to start. Okay, so if the problem isn't you, then what is it? The reality is, it's the system itself. And this is such a crucial shift in perspective. The blame does not belong on your shoulders. This slide really gets to the heart of the matter. Now, intentionally confusing doesn't mean there's some secret group of people in a back room plotting to make your life difficult. It's actually simpler and way more chaotic than that. The home buying process was built over time by dozens of different industries. We're talking real estate, lending, insurance, you name it. And they all speak their own weird jargon and just assume you know what they're talking about. Think about it this way. It's like you're suddenly asked to conduct an orchestra of 15 musicians who have never even met, let alone practiced together. You're juggling your mortgage approval while also house hunting, while also lining up an inspection, while someone else is doing an appraisal, and it's all happening at the same time. Nobody ever sits you down and explains how all these pieces are supposed to fit together. So of course it's confusing. And all of that confusion, well, it has a very real price tag. Trying to just wing it through this process isn't just stressful, it can be financially devastating. Let's actually look at the numbers. So here's the first big mistake, and boy is it a costly one. A lender tells you you're approved for this huge amount of money, and it feels like you've won the lottery, right? But their number is just the maximum they're willing to risk on you. It doesn't factor in utilities or repairs or, having a life. Buying at that absolute limit is how people become house poor, where every last dollar is just sucked up by the house. This mistake alone can easily cost you $50,000 or more in the long run. Mistake number 2 is not taking just a little time, like 60 days, to polish up your credit score. You might think, what's 0.5% on an interest rate? Well, on a totally normal $300,000 loan, that tiny little 0.5% difference adds up to an extra $36,000 over 30 years. I mean, that's a new car. That's a huge chunk of college tuition just gone. And then there's this one. This is the money people just leave behind. Did you know there are over 2,500 down payment assistance programs out there? It's essentially free money. And the average amount that eligible buyers could have claimed is 10 grand. They just didn't know to even ask about it. So here's the most important point. All of this is avoidable. These aren't inevitable costs of buying a home. They are the costs of not having a clear protective plan. And a playbook like this, it acts as your shield against these exact errors.
Okay, enough with the problems. Let's talk about the transformation. This is what it looks like to go from that state of total confusion to a state of complete and total confidence.
Just look at the shift on this slide. It's all about moving from vague hope to concrete facts. You go from, I hope my credit is okay, to my credit score is 678 and here's my 60-day plan. You move from, I need to save more, probably, to I need exactly $8,500 and here are the 4 strategies I'm using to get it. It's not just about learning stuff. It's a complete change in how you operate. It's about taking control. And a huge part of that is shattering the myths that hold so many of us back. This belief that you absolutely need 20% down, it's just not true. The median for a first-time buyer is actually 6%. And that feeling that you're too far behind, false. The moment you start arming yourself with this kind of knowledge, you're actually getting a massive advantage over the 90% of buyers who are out there just winging it. So where do you begin this journey from guessing to knowing? It all starts with one simple thing: getting real, objective data about your specific situation. No more maybes.
This is the fundamental question, isn't it? How do you move past the feeling of being ready and get to the fact of being ready? Well, the answer lies in two really cool tools.
First is the PITI plus reality formula. Okay, PITI just stands for the basic parts of a mortgage payment: principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. But the plus part, that's the secret sauce. It forces you to account for all the hidden, real-life costs, your utilities, any HOA fees, and saving for repairs. This gives you a number based on what you can actually afford, not just the inflated number a lender might offer you.
The second tool is a readiness score. Think of this like a GPS for homeownership. It gives you a single objective score from 0 to 100 based on your finances, your credit, your knowledge, and even your emotional readiness. It shows you exactly where you are right now, and more importantly, what specific gaps you need to close to get to your goal.
Now, all of this sounds great in theory, but does it actually work in the real world? Let's look at an example. This is proof that when you replace guessing with a system, incredible things can happen.
So, meet Maria. When she started, her readiness score was a 48 out of 100. Her credit was sitting at 615. She had about $3,000 saved up, and in her own mind, she was convinced she was at least 2 years away from even thinking about buying a home. I bet that's a starting point a lot of us can relate to.
But just look at this transformation. By following the system, Maria closed on her home in just 6 months. Not 2 years, 6 months. She found $8,500 in assistance she never knew existed. Her final mortgage payment was almost exactly the same as her old rent payment. And get this, she built over $9,000 in equity in her first-year loan. That is a life-changing result, period.
Look, the path from renter to homeowner isn't about luck, and it isn't about having everything perfect from the get-go. It's about having a clear plan and the right tools. It's about replacing fear with knowledge and anxiety with action. Your story can be next. Your house is out there, waiting for you. Now you have a playbook to go and claim it.